This is 10 News Melbourne with Jennifer Keyte.
Good evening. First tonight, Erin Patterson will remain behind bars until she is at least 82 years old, after being sentenced for serving a lethal mushroom lunch to her in-laws. The deaths of 3 relatives attracted 3 life sentences, while she was slapped with 25 years jail for poisoning Ian Wilkinson, who was the only guest to survive. But the mother of 2 was given a 33-year non-parole period, meaning she'll be eligible for release when she's an elderly woman. Abby Dinham begins our coverage.
A convicted triple murderer arrived at court to face her day of reckoning.
For the attempted murder of Ian Wilkinson, I sentence you to 25 years imprisonment. For the murder of Heather Wilkinson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Gail Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Don Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment.
2 months ago, a jury found Erin Patterson guilty of poisoning her parents-in-law Don and Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson with a beef Wellington dish laced with death cap mushrooms. Only Heather's husband Ian survived. Patterson claimed it was a tragic accident, but the jury found she was a cold, calculated killer. In handing down her sentence, live streamed for the first time in Supreme Court history, Justice Christopher Beale said her motive for the murders remains a mystery.
Only you know why you committed them. I will not be speculating about that matter.
She lied about having cancer, using it as an excuse to host a lunch for her in-laws and asked them how to break the news to her children. It was the first of many lies, Justice Beale says Patterson told during her murderous scheme.
I am satisfied that by the 16th of July 23, when you unusually invited Simon, his parents and his aunt and uncle to a lunch without the children to discuss your non-existent medical issues, you did so with the intention of killing them all.
As her guests fell violently ill, she continued to lie about where she had sourced the mushrooms for the beef Wellingtons she served, delaying potentially life-saving treatment to her victims in hospital.
You repeatedly denied foraging, insisting that the mushrooms for the beef Wellingtons were sourced solely from Woolworths and an Asian grocery. We will never know whether revealing the use of foraged mushrooms would have made a difference.
Her victim's suffering was severe and protracted. Justice Beale said it was what Patterson had intended.
Prosecution submitted that you must have anticipated that your victims would suffer in the way they did. I am satisfied of that beyond reasonable doubt. It is implausible that you would have selected death cap mushrooms without ascertaining how they would work upon your victims.
It was a betrayal of trust, Justice Beale said, which has rippled through 4 generations of the Patterson and Wilkinson families.
Not only did you cut short 3 lives and cause lasting damage to Ian Wilkinson's health, thereby devastating the extended Patterson and Wilkinson families, you inflicted untold suffering on your own children, whom you robbed of their beloved grandparents.
Yet Patterson continues to claim she's innocent.
Your failure to exhibit any remorse pours salt into all the victims' wounds.
Erin Patterson sat with her eyes closed and her hands folded in her lap as Justice Christopher Beale read his sentencing remarks. However, she did glance up when he said the gravity of her crimes has made her notorious, which means she'll likely need protection from her fellow prisoners for years to come.
And that makes her time in prison tougher than it might normally be. And I think that's one of the main reasons why His Honour allowed her the chance of parole.
Her sentences will be served concurrently with a non-parole period of 33 years. She's already spent almost 700 days in prison, meaning she will be eligible for parole when she's 82 years old. It's the longest non-parole period ever given to a female killer in Victoria.
His Honour was right to give Erin Patterson a massive whack of a sentence, but he's given her a form of leniency in that he's given her some hope that she will see the outside of a prison cell.
Patterson has 28 days to launch an appeal against her conviction and her sentence. Legal experts say she has both the money and the will.
I think it is an absolute no-brainer that she will appeal. She's got the money, she's shown no remorse so far, and she's certainly got enough time. And most importantly, she's got absolutely nothing to lose. So she will appeal, mark my words.
Abby Dinham, 10 News.
And Sophie Jacobson joins us live now from the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre. Sophie, what are Erin Patterson's jail conditions like?
Good evening, Jen. Well, tonight, Erin Patterson will spend her first night here as a sentenced prisoner. And today, during sentencing, Justice Beale did give us a small insight into what conditions are like for Erin in this prison. She spends more than 22 hours a day inside of her cell in the Gordon unit. That's a maximum security centre where there's 20 other cells. She has a small outdoor area which, with permission, she can use to get fresh air. Her meals are delivered to her, as well as medication, through a flap in her cell door. She has not been given permission to interact with any other inmates except for one. She has an intercom in her cell where she is permitted to communicate with one other prisoner who is also serving a lengthy jail term for terrorism charges, but she has not done so yet. As for her personal items, we do know Erin has a computer, a hair straightener and a couple of magazines, and that she spends most of her days crocheting. She's also allowed to visit the prison library twice a week for 20 minutes, but getting there she must use the prison van, and she's flanked by 2 police officers. And due to staff shortages, that's not been able to happen. It's only happened a handful of times. And looking forward now, this is what Erin's life will look like. Now that she's sentenced, she's allowed to participate in the jail education programs, but this is what the next at least 3 decades will look like for Erin Patterson.
OK, thank you very much, Sophie. At the centre of Erin Patterson's mammoth court case was a family whose quiet country life was thrust into the spotlight, attracting the attention of the world. The only surviving lunch guest, Pastor Ian Wilkinson, attended every day of her trial. He testified in front of the jury and later delivered a powerful victim impact statement to the judge. Today, he spoke publicly for the first time.
Ian Wilkinson survived an attempt on his life, but is still able to see the good in people.
We're thankful that when things go wrong, there are good people and services and systems available to help us recover.
The sole surviving lunch guest, Pastor Ian Wilkinson, has only publicly recounted his story on the witness stand. He says police and prosecutors have ensured justice was served.
They brought to light the truth of what happened with the death of 3 good people.
Speaking for the first time, the pastor spoke not of his own suffering, but to thank those involved in Erin Patterson's trial.
The court processes are a little bewildering to lay people like me, and we're grateful for their expertise, their hard work and their perseverance that has secured this conviction.
Patterson's case has had unprecedented interest, with members of the public attending every day of her trial, even visiting key sites linked to her crimes, including her home in Leongatha, where she hosted the lethal lunch, and the Corumbarra Baptist Church, where Ian Wilkinson serves as a pastor. Posted to the church's notice board this afternoon, justice is very important. It does not, however, bring back our much-loved Heather, Don and Gail. We now have only memories and echoes of their wisdom, compassion and humour. We continue to love, support and pray for the Wilkinson and Patterson families. We also continue to pray for Erin.
Our lives and the life of our community depends on the kindness of others.
Up to 70 members of the public queued up outside court hoping for a seat inside.
I just want to see justice, that's why I'm here today.
How long was the drive to get here this morning?
I've come from Traralgon, so I left at 2:02 this morning.
Among the hordes of true crime enthusiasts was a lone supporter of Erin Patterson, a woman she befriended on the internet.
Do you have anything to say about the sentencing today?
Patterson, the court has heard, is a woman who craved family and friendship. Now she's serving her sentence in solitude. Steph Baumgartel, 10 News.
A gentle giant with a passion for hunting, fishing and catching crooks has been honoured at the Victoria Police Academy. Detective leading Senior Constable Neil Thompson was shot dead at Porpunka 2 weeks ago. Tomo was due to retire last Friday. Instead, the Police High Command joined his family and friends at his emotional funeral.
The thin blue line stretched as far as the eye can see, standing side by side to honour a man with undoubted passion for his profession. Detective leading Senior Constable Neil John Thompson farewelled at the Police Academy, where he began his career 37 years ago. He was due to finish that career and retire last Friday to spend more time with his partner Lisa. Instead, today Lisa fought back tears as she delivered his eulogy.
He taught me how to love without fear and how to be brave when I'm scared. And honey, I am so grateful you did, because I am scared.
The two, who weren't married but share the same last name, met on the job 9 years ago. They were opposites, Lisa said, but unstoppable together.
We worked one shift together and it changed the course of my life. Neil was an incredible man with whom I was privileged to build a life, a partnership and a family.
His sisters told of a funny, fiercely loyal man who loved hunting, fishing and the Bombers.
I recall chatting with you one day about the need for a will. You said to me you didn't need one because you were invincible.
His colleagues thought he was too.
Neil had previously been shot, stabbed, rolled in cars and beaten cancer.
Somehow, a eulogy seemed imminent.
It was catching crooks and keeping his community safe that motivated Tomo, who began at Collingwood Police Station and progressed up the ranks before moving to Wangaratta in 2007.
For 37 years, Tomo knew the risks and accepted them with courage and pride. Always first through the door, he was always there to protect his mates.
Gunned down in Porpunka 2 weeks ago, today he was awarded the Victoria Police Star as an officer who had given his life in the line of duty. More than 3,000 paid tribute to the gentle giant, including colleagues who had bussed down from the high country and the country's highest dignitaries.
I could hear him saying, "You wouldn't get the Prime Minister at your funeral, Junior."
The 59-year-old remembered as someone who gave his all to his family and the force.
Well, mate, you went out doing what you loved and you beat me to the finish line of life.
Sam Mills, 10 News.
And the search for the gunman is now nearing the end of its 14th day. Rory Campbell joins us live from Porpunka. Rory, there were many people from the area who travelled to Melbourne for the funeral service.
Jen, they travelled to Melbourne by the busload and in convoys. A group of friends, Neil Thompson's friends from his hometown of Moyhu, police officers from Wangaratta, Benalla and Wodonga. While they were saying their farewells, the search for Desi Freeman was underway still in the area around Porpunka into its 14th day. Heavily armed officers raided a property a little closer to Myrtleford, a short distance from Porpunka. The house there, it hasn't been used for a while. The property has a number of cars on it and refuse as well. A lot of places that could make for good hiding spots. Several other search teams headed out as well, but we haven't seen quite as much of the Special Operations Group or the Police Bearcat as we were seeing earlier in the search. Officers are mapping bushland and gathering intelligence as part of this mammoth operation. Jen, a few minutes ago we saw the police helicopter in action, focusing in on the area around Mount Buffalo, close to where Desi Freeman was living. But Jen, the fugitive still hasn't been located.
OK, thank you very much, Rory. The Premier has maintained a week-long silence even after the vicious machete murder of 2 boys on Saturday night. The opposition has criticised the decision and accused Jacinta Allen of failing to offer Victorians any reassurance that they're safe in their own homes.
From the Premier, radio silence, instead leaving her police minister to adorn the airwaves.
When there is indiscriminate crime committed by youth gangs in this way, but police are investigating, that's very challenging.
A group of up to 8 thugs still on the run after they murdered 2 boys in Cobblebank Saturday night in a bloody and brutal ambush. 12-year-old Chol Achek and 15-year-old Dao Akweng. They were walking home from a bus stop when they were set upon in what police say is a case of mistaken identity.
It appears to be that Jacinta Allen only goes out to the media when there's a positive story for her.
The opposition leader stepping away from the funeral of slain police officer, Detective Leading Senior Constable Neil Thompson. The Premier was also in attendance but chose not to address media. Not even spurred on by comments from a senior Victoria Police detective who called out a lack of deterrence for knife crime youth offenders.
As I stand here before you, I think the penalties aren't in balance.
You can only take more edge weapons off the street when we change the law to stop and search people without a warrant. So we're responding to what police are asking for.
The Police Minister directing some of the blame at communities and schools.
I'm happy to accept responsibility for these matters, but what it requires is everyone to have a responsibility.
The Police Minister defended the government's tougher bail laws, but accepted if the community doesn't feel safe, more needs to be done. But experts say the onus also falls on the judicial system to keep offenders behind bars.
And the courts are not implementing the jail time. You don't have to create new offences, it's implement the penalty that are there.
Jessica Maggio, 10 News.
And now here's Stephen previewing sport as we enter semi-final week.
We do, thank you Jen. The Hawks setting no limits as they head back to Adelaide to take on the Crows. Gold Coast still on a high as it prepares for a gigantic Q clash against the Lions. Oscar Piastri settles for third at the Italian Grand Prix. Plus, King Carlos reigns supreme in New York, back on top of the world after winning his second US Open crown. And Aaron Rodgers' steely performance as he silences the New York fans with a comeback win.
Thank you, Stephen. Coming up in 10 News, how the world reacted. We'll have more on how Erin Patterson's life sentence is making global headlines. Airlines put on notice how passengers hit with flight delays and cancellations could soon be entitled to compensation.
It's been a grey and gusty day in Melbourne with the odd shower. What does it mean for hay fever season? I'll have all the details and your weather after the break.
Go Harvey Norman footy finals time. Save over $700 and upsize to the TCL 98-inch QLED TV. Get the 75-inch QLED TV for under $1,200 and save on TCL soundbars from $247. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman.
We enjoying the work from home at work vibes?
It's time to return to the office.
Hannah is a riddle, swallowed by an idiot.
A proper HR nightmare.
I'm Buddhist.
Oh, namaste.
The global hit has come down under.
Promoting women into positions of power. That's my mantra, really. Oh, my back hurts from carrying all my sisters. Ow.
The Office follows Gogglebox 8:30 Thursday on 10. From the creator of Downton Abbey.
The old have been in charge since before the revolution, until the new people invaded.
Comes a drama for the ages.
You are the future, Mrs. Russell.
George Russell is a power in the land. Power belongs to old New York, my dear. Nothing new.
Money isn't everything, Agnes.
That woman's unsuitable. I'll make them pay one day.
The Gilded Age starts 8:40 Wednesday on 10.
Watch it stream free.
The Battle of the Ages is back with the one and only Anne Edmonds.
Ready? Keyte Price. She reached out to me a few times.
What's your cut off?
I'd say 35.
So your cut off is 35?
I'd say so.
You just lost a point. We pit the generations against each other to find out who is the best. Then, to keep the millennials happy, we'll give everyone a participation medal.
Your Gen's back, September 16 on 10.
Look at all those famous faces, all hoping that we'll play nicely because they're celebrities. They couldn't be more wrong.
Things go wrong, like when you're injured or sick because of your job.
At Carbone Lawyers, we're the experts in getting you compensation.
Get Carbone on the phone. Get Carbone on the phone.
We don't settle for less, neither should you.
G'day, it's James Padley in the Carbone Lawyers Traffic Chopper, and it's a pretty cruisy run on the Westgate Freeway outbound this Arvo, but there has been a minor bingle on the Princes Freeway outbound just after the Westgate interchange. A few cars have already swapped details and headed for home, but we've still got two finalising things before they make a move as well. After this, though, it's a gorgeous drive all the way out past Werribee towards Geelong. I'm James Padley in the Carbone Lawyers Traffic Chopper. I'll be back again shortly with another update.
Welcome back. The victim of the weekend's deadly drive-by shooting in the city has been identified. Keyte was gunned down near the Queen Victoria Market yesterday morning. He was then left outside the Royal Melbourne Hospital by three men he was with at the time of the shooting. The 26-year-old is being remembered as a talented footballer and entrepreneur. Homicide detectives say it's likely it was a targeted attack. No arrests have been made. Australian travellers may soon be eligible for compensation if their flights are delayed or cancelled. The Albanese government will introduce legislation to Parliament for a consumer protection scheme by the end of the year.
As the saying goes, it's all about the journey and not the destination. Tell that to those who've had their flights cancelled or delayed.
3 or 4 hours last time, yeah, so, I mean, it puts you out.
Tonight, the Albanese government is a step closer to better protecting travellers, with public consultation on the country's first aviation consumer protection scheme now underway. The scheme will mandate airlines and airports to act when things go wrong.
That will cover things like how quickly you get refunds, whether you should be rebooked on another flight, whether you're entitled to things like accommodation.
And it's needed. In July, just over 3% of flights were cancelled countrywide, but it's far higher on certain routes. Canberra to Sydney saw 10% of flights cancelled, Sydney to Melbourne just over 7%. But one key aspect missing from the Albanese government's proposed reforms is the mandatory financial compensation to travellers left in the lurch by the airlines. In Europe, if your flight is more than 3 hours delayed, you can be entitled to up to $1,000.
We've got a much more concentrated market here. We haven't ruled out doing that if this doesn't work.
It's hard to put a number on it, but certainly I think some thought needs to go into it.
Yeah, they should be compensated to a certain degree, but I mean, you've got to give and take.
Once the public consultation closes in 4 weeks, the government is aiming to legislate the changes by the end of the year and have the scheme up and running sometime in 2026.
Holding the airlines and airports to account
to provide some peace of mind to millions of travellers.
The best time is earlier, the second best time is now.
Matthew Carstunen, 10 News.
And time now for a check of the weather with Jade Kotick. Jade, it was a warm and windy day in Melbourne.
Oh, it certainly was warm, windy and occasionally wet, Jen. The perfect recipe for grass pollen to grow and be blown into Melbourne from northern pastures. Hay fever season might be 3 weeks away, but sufferers are being warned to take precautions now.
Victoria has one of the worst hay fever rates in the world, with 20% of the population living with symptoms. And the coming season is already sparking concern.
This year, due to extra rain that's arrived in July and wetter soil conditions, we're expecting conditions that are going to be slightly stronger than last year.
A warmer and wetter spring means more itchy noses and watery eyes.
So on a low pollen count day, we'll see around or below 20 grass pollen grains per cubic metre of air. So if you imagine a square box with a metre by metre by metre, there's about 20 grass pollen grains in that box. A high day will have over 50 grains and an extreme grass pollen day will have over 100.
Last year, the state recorded 20 high to extreme pollen days. 6 machines across Victoria are used to detect how much pollen is in the air and whether there's a risk of thunderstorm asthma.
People with hay fever or seasonal allergic rhinitis are at high risk of having an asthma exacerbation during this time or an asthma attack, despite the fact that they don't usually get asthma.
Melbourne University has joined forces with Royal Melbourne Hospital to fund a study aimed at identifying those at high risk.
In November last year, Albury-Wodonga experienced a thunderstorm about 7 o'clock in the evening, and 121 people attended their ED in 5 hours.
530 participants are required statewide before October 1. If you suffer from asthma or hay fever, you can sign up online. Jade Kotick, 10 News.
Now for a look at today's weather, and it was Melbourne's warmest night since autumn, followed by hit and miss showers throughout the day. The morning low was 13 degrees. It hit a high of 20. It's currently 18 degrees outside. Less than half a millimetre of rain fell at Point Cook, Laverton and over at Moorabbin. Slightly heavier falls at Frankston. Northwesterly winds helped strengthen this afternoon, pushing up those temperatures. Gusts peaked at 56 kilometres an hour at Laverton and also over at St Kilda. In the regions, damaging winds battered the Alpine region overnight before isolated showers swept through the state's southwest today. But temperatures again were on the warmer side thanks to those northerlies. So Mildura and over at Mallacoota, we saw highs of 25 degrees. Now we can expect a big fluctuation in temperatures this week as a cool change approaches with a fresh blast of southerly winds. I'll have Melbourne's full forecast coming up closer to 6, Jan.
Thank you, Jade. And ahead in 10 News, shocking shootout. A fugitive father on the run for 4 years with his children killed by police. And farewelling fashion's king. Giorgio Armani's employees pay their final respects to the late designer.
Up next. SpaceX launched the Starship rocket this week. What's special about it?
Cup holders in the back.
The laughs will skyrocket when special guest host Ed Cavalier joins Bron, Tommy, Mel, Lloyd and Sam on Have You Been Paying Attention? Tonight on 10.
I had an accident and I woke up 33 years in the past. Now that either makes me a time traveller or I'm lying in a hospital bed and none of this is real.
Yeah, what about this?
Stream every episode of Life on Mars free on 10. Something Blue is coming to digital.
What the Smurf?
Buy it now and watch at home today.
Come on! I think I just smurfed my pants.
Featuring new music by Rihanna and more Smurfs.
David Tennant and Olivia Colman in the hit UK drama.
Rockfall around the body was faked. Quite to make it look like an accident.
We will find the person responsible. You have my word.
Stream every episode of Broadchurch for free on 10.
So what did Bob say?
Don't say that, because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that.
To be fair, I react the same way when people bring up my netball grand final.
The Cheap Seats, Tuesday on 10.
Police had warned people, women specifically, don't go out alone because somebody here is a murderer.
What they found would send shockwaves through this community.
Stream every episode of Murder Town for free on 10.
Do you see ghosts?
It's not ghosts.
Then what do you see?
Manifests.
You witnessed the murder of your colleague.
You can't bring Stevie back.
There are concerns about how you're handling her death.
Stream every episode of River for free on 10.
Before he takes off on the amazing race, Bo's playing the deal.
Feels like 100.
Ready, set, go! An amazing deal tonight on 10.
Watch free.
Next at 6, the call for kindness from the mushroom lunch survivor as Erin Patterson is jailed for life.
Plus claims of dangerous behaviour on America's Biggest Loser. We ask Commando Steve about the Aussie show.
Welcome back. You're watching 10 News Melbourne. New Zealand's most notorious fugitive has been shot dead in an exchange of fire that has left a police officer critically wounded. Tom Phillips abducted his own children 4 years ago and has been hiding with them in rugged bush ever since.
Tom Phillips' last move was to ambush a police officer who didn't stand a chance.
He has been shot multiple times with a high-powered rifle. What he came across this morning in the early hours would have been completely unexpected.
A second officer then shot Phillips and killed him. He's been on the run since abducting his own 3 children 4 years ago. At the time, they were just 6, 7 and 9 years old.
You forget for those first few moments in the morning and then you remember. And it's like a waking nightmare every single day and it just never stops.
Last year, the group was sighted by hunters in camouflage, the children trailing behind. And then 2 recent sightings during break-ins for supplies. One of the children was with their father when he died.
They've been cooperative with us in providing information, and that has allowed us to identify an area of activity.
Then, late today, the best news. The remaining two found alive in a bush camp.
Were they with anyone else?
They were by themselves.
In a statement, the children's mother says, "We are deeply relieved that this ordeal has come to an end. The children have been dearly missed every day. We're looking forward to welcoming them home with love and care." The wounded officer has a longer road. His injuries include shots to the head.
He's sustained significant injuries that will require many surgeries.
While the care and reintegration of the children is now the priority, police will also pursue any people they can now identify who helped Phillips during his years on the run. Hugh Remington, 10 News.
Famed fashion designer Giorgio Armani has left his theatre in Milan, where he lay in state over the weekend and will be buried in a private funeral later tonight. The public streamed in to pay their respects over 2 days, with close friends and colleagues the last to visit. His staff lined the route and applauded as his hearse pulled away. Well, still to come, the lethal mushroom lunch reported around the globe, how the world's media reacted to Erin Patterson's life sentence.
When things go wrong. Like when you're injured or sick because of your job.
At Carbone Lawyers, we're the experts in getting you compensation.
Get Carbone on the phone.
Get Carbone on the phone.
We don't settle for less, neither should you.
G'day again, James Padley in the Carbone Lawyers traffic chopper, and an earlier truck fire in Clayton has had Clayton Road closed between Centre Road and the Medical Centre for most of this afternoon, with commuters having to jump on Huntingdale Road instead. As you can see, there's some singe marks on the top of the truck, but amazingly it is driving off as we speak, with teams starting to open those northbound lanes. With everything starting to move off, it shouldn't be too long before those southbound lanes reopen as well. I'm James Padley in the Carbone Lawyers traffic chopper. Have a great night. I'll see you again tomorrow. Jan?
Thank you, James. Returning to the sentencing of triple murderer Erin Patterson. And today's court hearing has made headlines across the globe. The Supreme Court's historic decision to allow the judge's remarks to be live streamed meant the world was able to watch it all unfold.
As Erin Patterson's fate was revealed inside a Victorian Supreme Court room, the world watched.
An Australian judge has sentenced mushroom murderer Erin Patterson to life in prison.
Handed a term of life behind bars, the triple murderer from Leongatha dominated the news once again.
An Australian woman convicted of triple murder by way of toxic mushrooms in a case that garnered global headlines. She's learning her punishment.
For the first time, the sentence was live-streamed, giving the world a rare glimpse of Victoria's court system.
The sentencing was allowed to be broadcast, such was the importance of the case, to be able to show the world the process of the sentencing.
Major media outlets broke into programming.
This was the moment she was sentenced.
The mother of two, now a household name, for a case that has been watched intently ever since the news of 4 lunch guests falling ill broke 2 years ago.
This is an incredibly high-profile case. Was this level of sentencing expected?
Yeah, I mean, this has garnered worldwide attention.
This isn't the end of the fascination with a small country town, 4 innocent guests and a woman intent on murder, with documentaries, podcasts and TV series to follow. Sophie Jacobson, 10 News.
And now here's Stephen with Monday Sport, and the Hawks, they're full of confidence.
They are, Jen. Why not? Believing anything is possible over the next 3 weeks as the Crows refuse to be drawn on a straight sets exit. Alarm bells for the Lions as Chris Fagan is urged to implement a new game plan. Carlos Alcaraz's double victory over Yannick Sinner at the US Open. Plus, Rugby League launches its final series. Can Melbourne Storm rediscover its mojo? Oscar Piastri forced to settle for 3rd at the Italian Grand Prix as Verstappen flies to the finish line in record time. And roaring home, McIlroy's incredible win at the Irish Open as fans go ballistic.
Beyond the city, diabetic vision loss falls off the radar. We need instant testing done here, but I'm just one person. Or I was. When medical research joins forces with Google AI, more's possible.
Come on, Charlie. Go Ace. Come on, Charlie. Do a wee. Come on, Charlie. I know, buddy. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
You hear that, Charlie? You're going to get your own garden.
Go from balcony to backyard with Westpac's local home loan specialists. To get it done, it takes a little Westpac.
Down there somewhere.
This is more cave than man cave.
He went to search for a better deal on our car and home insurance. I haven't seen him since.
Bernard! It's been 3 months.
Still searching, hun.
With renewal prices like these, it's no wonder.
This should shed some light. Budget Direct paid out over $1.5 billion on claims in the last 12 months. So quote with Budget Direct first.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Some people think that goats will devour anything. Rubbish! The truth is, goats demand the best, like Sly Stallone in Tulsa King, Michael C. Hall in Dexter Resurrection, and Tony and Ziva in the NCIS spin-off, Tony and Ziva. So if you're hungry for drama, Paramount Plus is serving up a feast.
Stream only on Paramount Plus.
This is a tasty logo.
Good evening. The Hawks are putting no limits on what they can achieve this September, believing they're a chance to win the flag. But they will be without Cal Shadir for the semi-final against the Crows with a minor hamstring injury.
Picked up as a mid-season recruit in 2021, Jai Newcombe has transformed into a September specialist, although you'll never hear him say it.
Late bloomer, small when I was 16 to 18.
But he does admit he'll never forget being overlooked by the competition.
You know, it gives you a bit of a point to prove with certain things, and a small little motivator that'll always be there.
Still only 24 years old, Newcombe was close to best on ground against the Giants. It's a win that goes against a recent Hawks trend of falling just short on the road.
Yeah, it's definitely character building for us, I think.
So that trend has been broken, and Mabior Chol says these Hawks are ready to go all the way.
Yeah, definitely. We are confident, but like you said, game by game.
Young forward Cal Shadir will miss the Crows with a minor hamstring, while Chol opened up on the major mental doubts he's had throughout his career, and even during the game on the weekend, before two young teammates inspired him to kick the game winner.
I just had Connor and Nick Watson came up to me, were like, you know, you're built for this and you can definitely win us this game.
The Hawks now face a Crows side under serious pressure to avoid a straight sets exit. They'd be the first minor premier to do so in 42 years.
I haven't even thought about that, mate, to be honest. It's nice to have another chance, obviously, and we've done the hard work to get that. And
Adrian Franklin, 10 News.
Former Lions Luke Hodge and Grant Birchall agree there's alarm bells for Brisbane as injuries bite hard. With the Premiership Cup today visiting Queensland, Brisbane now takes on the Gold Coast Suns in the greatest Q clash of all.
Talked up as the biggest game in Queensland history, the Sunshine State rivalry set to make a fair bit more noise than normal.
Where these real rivalries really grow is in September, and the best part is both teams are playing really good footy at the moment, and we're going to see a fairly big game.
Gold Coast got the better of them last time, so I'm sure the Lions boys will be eager to get out there and get one back on them.
They won't have Lachie Neale or Eric Hipwood's help, a now injury crisis, leaving their premiership defence looking a little wobbly.
It's definitely a concern to go through and play in a grand final, win a grand final. You need a lot of things going your way, and injuries are one of those.
The Suns are surging on that front with almost a full list to choose from. Despite being long odds to beat their old foes, any team that can topple Fremantle on the road can't be underestimated.
They've had a terrific year. They're a game off top four. And as I said, they're full of momentum and full of confidence, so anything can happen in finals.
Arguably the man under most pressure Saturday night is Chris Fagan. His game plan to attack through the corridor was cut to ribbons by Chris Scott. He'll have to come up with another one, fast.
One thing you know about Fags and the coaching staff is they'll go back and assess the game and how they got beaten, and obviously ball transition. Geelong really hunted the Lions on the weekend. I don't think that's happened for a while. So there's no doubt they'll be ready for what Suns come at them.
They'll need to be, or this big shiny piece of silverware will be lifted by someone else this September. Josh McLean, 10 News.
Melbourne Storm has accepted an early plea for Nelson Asofa Solomona's careless high tackle. It means the prop will miss 3 matches, including Friday's qualifying final against the Bulldogs. He'll join injured star Jerome Hughes on the sidelines and Ryan Pappenhausen, who remains in concussion protocols.
From pre-season you set out to be here playing finals, and that's the opportunity we've got now. So it's about enjoying that and making the most of it.
A win would send Melbourne straight to the preliminary final. Alex de Minaur knows the rest of his career will be spent chasing Carlos Alcaraz, who won his 6th Grand Slam title at the US Open. The Spaniard getting one up on his rival Jannik Sinner in a final delayed for half an hour by US President Donald Trump.
Hitting the court in Sydney ahead of a Davis Cup tie with Belgium, US Open quarter-finalist Alex de Minaur was too jet-lagged to wake up for the decider. But he'll be seeing plenty of Alcaraz and Sinner, who have again split this season's slams.
They're the ultimate competition, right? So for the rest of us, it's our job to find ways to kind of bridge the gap.
The final in New York delayed due to extra security because the president was in the house. Thousands of fans unable to enter before the start.
Well, the two players have unbelievable talent. It just seemed that they hit the ball harder than I've ever seen before.
A who's who of movies, sports and everything in between lapping up tennis's new rivalry. Carlos lost the Wimbledon final to Jannik, but here the roles were reversed. The Spaniard regaining the world #1 ranking and making it 7 wins from their last 8 matches.
An Alcaraz masterclass.
The best tournament so far that I have ever played.
At 22, Alcaraz has 6 major titles, matching the career hauls of Boris Becker and Stefan Edberg.
I would say it's more special because it was where I got my first one, now the 6th one, so I just want to keep going.
Although Sinner won the second set, it was a comprehensive victory, 6-2, 3-6, 6-1, 6-4. Alcaraz is getting tattoos of the Brooklyn Bridge and Statue of Liberty because of a bet. His next ink could be a kangaroo. The Australian Open needed to complete the Grand Slam.
My first goal, to be honest, I just wanted to complete it. Obviously, I'm going to try to do it next year.
The world on his strings. Even Carlos's nearest rival wasn't close today. Bence Hammerley, 10 News.
The Socceroos are gunning for 9 straight wins over New Zealand tomorrow when they take on their Trans-Tasman rivals in the return leg of the Soccer Ashes. Scott McKinnon is in Auckland with one of the game changers from last week's triumph in Canberra.
Well, Max Ballard, he's been getting all the plaudits for that match-winning goal in Canberra on Friday night. But this man here, he made it happen. Mo Toure with the magic assist, mate, the momentum out of that. How much can you kind of bank on that as you go into this game tomorrow looking to secure the Soccer Ashes?
It's a very big confidence booster, coming off the bench. The boss wants impact, and when you can provide a goal and assist, it just gives you a lot of confidence heading into the next match.
Now, the Socceroos have been looking for a replacement for Tim Cahill for quite some time. Would you like to be that guy with the World Cup on the horizon? I know they're massive shoes to fill.
Replacement, I think. There's a lot of us, that want that position, the number 9 position. We have big competition, a lot of great young strikers Australia have at the moment, so I can just push and see what happens.
Now, their striker, the Kiwi striker Chris Wood, he missed 2 prime opportunities on Friday night. What sort of response are you expecting, not just from him, but from the Kiwis playing here on their home turf?
We did beat them 1-0 late, frustrating loss for them. They're coming at home. I know they're going to come with full force, and he would want to get that goal that he missed. I know how it feels to miss a goal. As a number 9, you just want to come back the next week or the next time you play and score, so we're expecting them to come full on.
Should be an absolute ripper. Mo, best of luck in it. And of course, you can catch the game tomorrow on Paramount+.
Oscar Piastri's Formula One title lead has been cut by 3 points. The Aussie finished third at the Italian Grand Prix, 1 spot behind teammate Lando Norris. A horror pit stop cost Norris track position until the team swapped them back.
Please let Lando pass and you're free to race.
Norris and Piastri have swapped places, Max.
Just because he had a slow start?
The decision to swap back was fair. You know, Lando was ahead of me the whole race.
Max Verstappen won in 73 minutes, the fastest F1 race in history. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets parted ways on messy terms, and in his Pittsburgh Steelers debut, the star quarterback ran out to boos from the New York faithful, but Rodgers had the last laugh with a comeback win.
They had 17 interceptions. Fake the handoff. Rodgers under a rush. Wide open. Touchdown. Aaron Rodgers comes back to Jersey.
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Buffalo snatched a 1-point win over Baltimore with a last-second field goal, while Aussie punter Jeremy Crawshaw impressed in his NFL debut with the Denver Broncos. Rory McIlroy has an eye for the dramatic, but even by his standards, the finish to the Irish Open was something else. Needing an eagle on the 72nd hole to force a playoff, the world number 2 sent his home fans into an absolute frenzy.
Would you believe it? McIlroy eagles the last and draws up alongside Lagergren. The crowd go nuts.
And he won the playoff. So for whipping up the crowd, Rory not only collects the Irish Open, but aces our play of the day as well. And that is all in sport, Jen.
Sensational. Thank you, Stephen. Now here's Jade with the weather.
Thanks, Jen. After a warm and windy start to the week, a cool change is on the way. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up after the break. Well,
we know owning a car these days isn't cheap. At GIO, you can save 10% off your car insurance premium when you quote and buy a new policy online with GIO's online discount. Get a quote today.
We will find the person responsible. Stream world-class drama.
He's not the man you think he is, Jessica. What do you mean?
Wherever, whenever.
NCIS Sydney. Everything's fine.
Stream free on 10.
You can't stop me from going up. I can try.
The Saudi Pro League is streaming exclusively live on 10. Football legends light up the pitch every week.
Ronaldo! How about that?
Stream free on 10. NBL is back, and the stage is set for greatness.
The NBL Championship now lives in the Gong.
Big names in new teams. Old rivalries reignited. New heroes ready to rise. It all starts with a blockbuster. Championship runners-up Melbourne United take on the New Zealand Breakers in a huge home opener. NBL Hungry Jacks new season starts September 21, live on 10.
Watch and stream free.
Song stands about an obsessed fan who's taking me too literal.
Never seen anything like Eminem fans.
I had to look in the mirror and be like, am I one of these crazy stans?
When I was 11, I remember dressing up. I sprayed my hair yellow. I looked up to him. Eminem helped me.
Your music is saving my life.
What's your first question?
Stans, now streaming, only on Paramount Plus.
welcome back. It was a dynamic day of weather in Melbourne, starting off warm with pockets of sunshine, followed by the odd shower with strengthening winds. It was the city's warmest night since May, with a low of 13. It reached a top of 20 degrees. It's currently 18 degrees outside. And in the past 30 minutes, a short and sharp downpour hit the Mornington Peninsula and Phillip Island. About 0.5 millimetre ended up in the gauges. Today's maximums ranged from 18 at Frankston to 21 over at at Point Cook. Stargazers were treated to a rare blood moon overnight, also known as a total lunar eclipse. It was the first Australia has seen since 2022, and that reddish appearance is caused by rays of sunlight around the outer edge. Beautiful photos coming in. Showers and storms cleared from the state's northeast. Before sunrise, Mount Hotham picked up 26 millimetres of rain. Since 9 a.m, it's been light and patchy across the state. Northerly winds did help drive up those temperatures, with maximums mostly between 17 and 22. Around the rest of the country, it was calm and clear in Darwin and Brisbane. Sydney felt more like summer today. 29 degrees was the high. It was a windy day down in Hobart with late showers. Overnight rain has cleared from Perth. On the satellite image tonight, clouds are clearing from Victoria in wake of a cold front, while patchy storm clouds stretch from WA through to New South Wales, and that there is funneling tropical moisture across the continent. On the synoptic chart tomorrow, northwesterly winds over Victoria will turn southerly as a cold front crosses Tasmania. You can see it just here, and we see a low pressure system start to develop over southern New South Wales, taking the rain with it. Brisbane tomorrow, mostly sunny and 28 degrees. Hobart, a shower or two with a top of 12. Adelaide, showers ramping up for you up to 15 millimetres. Darwin, dry and 34. Back home, we can expect areas of morning fog in the north, followed by isolated showers across the state south, mostly over the southwest and central districts during the morning. Showers and areas of rain will develop about the northwest during the afternoon and the evening, thanks to that low in New South Wales. Closer to the city, we'll wake up to cloudy skies with the odd shower, nothing too heavy, a couple of millimetres at most. Top temperatures will drop back to 16 or 17 degrees. For boaties and swimmers on the bay, we'll see the wind change move through early afternoon to south-southwesterly, waves around a metre. In Melbourne tonight, we are down to a low of 9 degrees, heading for a top of 17 with a shower or two under cloudy skies. Looking ahead for the week, we're going to see those seesaw spring conditions continue on Wednesday and Thursday. Finally, the sun coming out by the weekend. A few showers continuing all next week, Jen.
OK, thank you very much, Jade. And here are tonight's headlines. Erin Patterson serving her first night in jail after being sentenced to life in prison for murdering her in-laws with a deadly mushroom lunch. An emotional farewell for veteran police officer Neil Thompson, killed in the line of duty in Victoria's high country. And the opposition accuses the Premier of failing to keep Victorians safe in the wake of a deadly machete attack on 2 teens. And that's 10 News Melbourne for this Monday, the 8th of September. Now it's time for 10 News Plus.